here a little later today. I had to do my hair. I had to do some washing and blow drying. So took a little longer than normal to get ready this morning and had to start some laundry. So make sure y'all drop y'all signs in the chat. All right, first come, first serve. Ooh, let me mute the computer. Guys, if you join as a member, you get your monthly questions. So, of course, just email me with your username and you get your monthly question. Yes, Leo and Pisces. Good morning, y'all. So if you join as a member, you get your monthly question. You get the career and the love readings. I'm going to be doing some career and love readings today for the members. Hey, good morning. Good morning, y'all. All right, we got Gemini on TikTok. Let me not. Okay, make sure I didn't ignore the TikTok folks. Come on in, y'all. Let me open this chat so I can make sure I can see all the craziness. Hey, welcome, welcome, Taurus and Virgo. All right, we got 9 signs. So far, we got Leo, Pisces, Cancer, Aquarius, Libra, Sagittarius, Gemini, Taurus, and Virgo. All right, Cancer. Me a little bit of this mango, y'all. I need to go to the store again. All right, we got Sag on the list. All right, Aries. All right, so there's one who's missing. There's one missing. Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra. Oh, Scorpio. Scorpio will be the last sign today. All right, guys. So we're going to get started. If you are on TikTok, Twitch, and Kick, this will be up on my YouTube. It will be time-stamped if you miss your sign. Each reading is going to be about 10 to 15 minutes long. So if you know, that's too long, you got to come back. It's okay. We'll be on here. It'll be up on YouTube. The zodiac signs that we have, the order that we're going in is Leo, Pisces, Cancer, Aquarius, Libra, Sag. Oh, wait. I got Cancer twice. I just noticed that. So Capricorn is last. Okay. Hold on. I wrote Cancer twice. Okay. So we're doing Leo, Pisces, Cancer, Aquarius, Libra, Sagittarius, Gemini, Taurus, Virgo, Aries, Scorpio, Capricorn. All right. So that's going to be the order in which we go in, y'all. All right, so if you was lower down the list, you got to wait by an hour and a half, But it's all good. You can watch for your moon and rising signs. Also, I'm thinking about for members doing a like an astrology video, but I might make that kind of public. I kind of want to do that. Thank you for the gift. I kind of want to just do an astrology video, like how I read birth charts and stuff like that. I might also add birth chart readings to the store. I haven't done those in a while though, but that is what I started with, was birth charts. All right, so that would be cool. Yeah, maybe I'll do that today. I'll see. Because I guess I need to be more planned though for that. I need to be kind of organized. Like I want to show the chart and all that good stuff. All right, let me eat a bite of this and then we ready. Mangoes are the best ever. You are the first Capricorn. Capricorn is last today. Sorry, y'all. Capricorn will be at the bottom today. All right, so let's get started with Leo. Let's get in Leo's business this lovely morning. see what havoc they're causing. No, I'm just kidding. Leos are cool. All right. All right, Leos. Let's see. All right. Oh, Cap rising. Okay. Y'all can, you know, when y'all put y'all signs, that y'all can feel free to put your rising signs. You don't have to wait, you know, for somebody else to put that sign. Y'all can put as many signs as you want, honestly. All right, what is the center of the reading for the Leos? What's going on for the Leos? Let's see. Okay, personality. So this is an energy where something is easily identifiable. We can see it. It's this is a person. They're very vocal or very out there. All right, so or we're able to identify something. What part is showing here? Okay, we will always okay, so first of all, somebody has a one-track mind or they can only see something one way. We will always view this energy, this person, this situation the same way. All right, so we will always view it that way. We'll always view that person in that way. I feel like somebody has a very strict mindset or a very strict perspective on things. All right, what role do you play here, Leos? Okay, so you're coming out as respect here. So you're trying to get, I feel like you're following a rule or regulation. You could be dealing with a Taurus or you are bringing up a Taurus's energy. You're talking about this Taurus, whatever. But I feel like you have a loyalty to something. All right, what are you following here? So, all right. So you feel like there's like a rule or a regulation here that tells you that determination and focus and struggle takes courage. That is the belief system that you're following. So if somebody is able to do something difficult that or like go through some sort of struggle, that is identified with being courageous. All right. What other energy should you be in here, Leos? Let's see. What energy should you be in, Leos? Spirituality. Okay, so if we're going respect versus spirituality, I feel like it's religion versus something more spiritual. If your advice is spirituality, that is an advice of like pulling your own cards, sitting with yourself, meditating. If anybody's into like Reiki healing, crystals, anything like that, there's something spiritual here that would change a belief system. All right, what element of spirituality and then what, let me see what effect that'll have. Oh, yourself, Leo. Okay, so you need to, if this is saying this about yourself with spirituality, I feel like you need to look up what does Leo represent in astrology. There's something significant about that for you as well, or checking your birth chart. All right, but what else? What effect will this have on you here? It'll change your perspective. Okay, so you're the, okay, so I feel like you're the one with the trap perspective. This is how you've always viewed something. You always looked at it this way. I feel like there is a rule or regulation where you equate, you know, you equate the ability to do something difficult or to be able to handle something difficult as courage. That's not always courageous. I mean, I don't know. But it'll change your attitude. It will change your perspective. All right, what else will it change your perspective on what? Okay, yeah, change and humor. Interesting. All right, so let's see. So your advice is to tap into something spiritual. All right, so tap into something spiritual. We got Sag on the list. So we got all the signs on the list just so y'all know. All right, so let's get 8 cards. What did I say? Did I say that right? We have every sign on the list. All right. Oh no, I feel like I said that wrong. All right, so let's see. Yeah, there's an idea literally that you will receive something for doing something difficult. Here you are doing a difficult thing. It's almost hard for you to Put time, energy, money into something. All right. Let's see. So there's a cause and effect to this as well. So I'm also getting to with spirituality, there's something that you need to believe in as far as cause and effect and karma. So we talk about justice or karma being literally just cause and effect. It's a lot of people will look at it like it's what goes around comes around sort of thing, but that's not always the case. It can, on a very simple level, karma is just cause and effect. Um, the difference between that is, like, some people, like, if this is your belief system, right, Leo, say you're telling yourself, okay, yes, I put in all these years of struggle, all these years of hard work, I deserve blah blah blah. If that was the case, people who worked hard would all have something, and that's not always the case. There are people who have never lifted a finger and they're millionaires and billionaires, or there's people who have worked their whole lives and they have nothing to show for it. So I feel like that's what you need to hear, is like, something, just because you struggle through something or just because something is difficult does not mean it's automatically rewarding at the end, or it doesn't automatically mean like you're going to get automatic good karma. You know, it'd be like every fast food worker would be rich, or every waitress would be rich, because that's probably some of the hardest work, or every farmer. You know, it's something like that. It's like that's not the connection here. So let's see what else, because I see you here doing this. And what does it actually bring to you? What is cause right here? Let's see. I feel like too, something's going on because of your perspective. It is because of your mindset. All right, so what else is the cause here? We're going to see what else the effect could be for you. All right, you got rebellion. What is the effect here for you? Yeah, see, hustle and potential. So there's something where you end up, you may receive more money if you think outside the box. Like, you receive more money if you do something difficult. I mean, different. Sorry, not difficult. Because remember, that is the rule that you're following. So you're still going to do work. You still have to see something through to the end, but you're doing it in a difficult fashion. What else might be difficult to handle? Or like the baggage that you're kind of dealing with? Okay, so you're supposed to get over some sort of loss here. What I remember a couple of days ago, you guys had maybe a loss on finances, or like a regret with spending. So it may be difficult to get over something. Like, somebody's telling you, hey, like, rush and get over this. If this is your actual physical health, don't like force yourself through healing yourself, or like through your healing period. I'm also getting too, if you think, like, maybe the belief system can also be that something is difficult to heal, or that you have to go through a struggle to heal like some sort of ailment. That's not always true. It just depends on what ailment we're talking about, or what issue we're talking about. Let's see what affects. Let's see spirituality. So let's see what your current energy is, and then we'll see what your energy looks like with spirituality. Let's see. Yeah, see, justice keeps coming out. You could be dealing with a Libra. They can have some sort of input on this. It just depends. What would you do in spirituality? Let's see. What would your energy be in spirituality? Well, yeah, that's completely different. I feel like, too, the rule that you're following or what you're abiding by, you think that that's like a huge deal. It is like it has a huge effect. But if you were spirituality with the Two of Swords, you probably wouldn't even notice something, or you would look at it a lot more logically or realistically once you broke it down. This is an interesting reading. I don't know if you may be even applying this rule to somebody else. Like, you could be applying a certain rule or regulation to like your child, or Like maybe you want your child to, you know, experience some sort of struggle. You have to go through this, that, and the third. Or like if you're at a job, you're like, okay, well, so and so needs to struggle through this because I went through this. And somehow that's like holding you back a little bit. But yeah, the spirit, what else about yourself with spirituality with the strength card, Leo? What else about yourself here? Maybe you have a Libra placement that you need to look into. I feel like too, you're going to see what inspires you to have conversations with people, network with people. I feel like too, you're going to see that something's going to inspire you to go on an easier, smoother route. Knight of Cups, Page of Cups. I'm also getting too, there's a perspective around men and women coming together or flirting or like talking with each other. I don't know what that has to do with what you're doing, but there is something's going to give you a different perspective on men, women, and children, or the masculine and feminine coming together to create something. All right, and that can be whatever, like even if you're talking about yourself, right? Coming up with an idea. The feminine part could be like your emotions, your creativity, but the masculine part is like the resources that you're going to use to protect that, right? So when we talk about masculine and feminine creating something in the physical, somebody is a writer. The creative part is the story itself, right? Now the masculine part is like, okay, well, I need to go copyright this story. I need to protect it from getting stolen. I need to use my ambition or my passion to get this book out there and to advertise it. So that can be the combination there to create something. So, but I feel like it's giving you a different perspective. I'm also seeing too, I'm definitely getting something with a birth chart. I will look up your birth chart and look where the sun and the moon is and look like there's something here about the relationship between you and your mother and your father. All right, so that can have something to do with that. As a Leo, you are ruled by the sun, so typically the father played some sort of pivotal role in your childhood. Technically, I can't say that for every Leo because there will be other aspects and things like that. But I feel like there's definitely something in your birth chart, literally. There's either, or I'm also getting to, there is an Aquarius placement that you might need to pay attention to. Where is, what house is Aquarius in and things like that. All right, but like I said, if you're in respect and you need to be in spirituality, again, this can just be the polarity of religion versus a spiritual concept. All right, so y'all think on that. That is Leo's reading. So that's the first that's the first sign. I feel like that reading was gonna go kind of down in the rabbit hole a little bit because whenever the advice is spirituality, that means it's gonna be something probably kind of deep, like getting to the root of an issue, things like that. All right, so that was Leo. That was Leo. We're doing Pisces next. All right, Pisces is next. Let me get the time stamp. All right, let's see. All right, Pisces, what is the center of the reading for the Pisces? Let's see, what's the center of the reading for the Pisces? Inspiration. All right, Aquarius comes out a lot with Pisces energy anyway. It is a sign before you guys, but you could be dealing with an Aquarius or literally just being inspired. All right, what role do you play here, Pisces, in your reading? This flew out. I don't want to keep it. Let's reshuffle. I don't like to keep the cards that fly out all the time, but all right, what role do you play here, Pisces? Okay, so you're a rebellion. All right, so if we're talking about an entire group of people, y'all know I always say Aquarius rules like unique identities within the group. So you're definitely standing out or doing something against the norm here, Pisces. All right, what do people normally do and what are you doing instead? So you have the information. All right, so you all right, so you got knowledge and style. All right, so there can be something dealing with a Cancer as well. All right, so what energy should you be in, Pisces, for yourself? Okay, self-love. All right. So, I mean, that's clear. I will focus on yourself here, Pisces. What do you need to do out of self-love? Make sure that you feel comfortable. Make sure you feel good today instead of somebody else. So out of self-love, there's something dealing with a Libra and a Sagittarius. Not sure. We'll figure out whatever that means. But out of self-love, I'm getting that there is an energy where you need to be very accurate, very logical. I'm getting employ logical action, or be very accurate in your movements or what you're planning to do for yourself. If you're just kind of going with the flow of something, I wouldn't do that. If these are people, I feel like it's best for you to work with like a Libra and a Sagittarius in this case, but we're going to see. I'm also getting two out of self-love. This is an energy where it's time for you to make sure that you feel comfortable above someone else. All right. If you're dealing with anybody else or you're considering anybody else's emotions in this time, that is not what you're supposed to be doing. You need to make sure that you are comfortable. Make sure that you are doing well for yourself first. All right. So let's clarify. Let's see. Cancer is next, actually, and they're coming out in this reading. Thank you for the heart puffs. Thank you. All right, so you are starting out with the Tower. Here's inspiration. So I don't know if you have two Aquariuses or whatever. Something, it becomes destructive and then you learn from it. All right, so there's going to be a shift in your perspective. You are going to learn from that. It could definitely deal with an Aquarius. All right, so now you have peace of mind. 4 of Cups, 5 of Wands, Knight of Wands, and then the Lovers. I literally am hearing you don't want to think like that. You don't want to have to hear that. And I feel like it has something to do with you doing something for yourself, literally. You're like, I don't want to hear that, or I don't want to have to think like that. Something is going to also kind of like completely rewire your brain, and it has to deal with a perspective that you have. It's an outlook, and that's like what's stopping you from doing something out of self-love. I can see it. Okay, a perspective on what? I feel like too, it's about thinking in the now versus the future. So like if you're making a decision right now, you're almost making a decision in mind, like with somebody else in mind for their future. That's what you have a habit of, I feel like. Or like this would be the type of energy where you want to do, like, say you want to go to lunch, right? Oh yeah, I'm hungry, I need to go get some food. Oh, but so and so is going to be hungry later, maybe I should wait and eat with them. Like that's the kind of decisions you're making, instead of doing something in the present moment to make sure you're comfortable. You'd rather consider somebody else's future than your own present. All right, what else? What is the expected here? What's normally expected? Okay, what's going to be the result of the Tower? Yeah, see, it's that mindset. That's what 8 of Swords, and then the mood. I feel like too, you feel as though like you believe this is the way something should go. This is the way it should be done. But really it looks like it is a trap mindset. All right, let's see what you'll be doing out of self-love, Pisces. Let me get 4 cards. Yeah, there it is. Very literal. All right, let's see. Let's see. Thank you for the follows. Yeah, there's the 8 of Swords again. I'm also getting like an element of like survivor's remorse almost, or like if you do something for yourself, you feel guilty about it. I feel like, too, there's an element where you can't stop thinking about this, or you can't change your mindset because it is a widespread mindset, or it's something that, like, somebody told you this in front of a group of people. Or somebody said this, like, you know how you do something and somebody reprimands you in front of the group? It could have something to do with that. If you're considering another individual, like I said, if there's a Cancer or something like that, I would not do this. Yeah. I feel like, too, this is going to be hard for you to implement almost. Because you may be doing things for somebody else all the time. I see underneath the deck, I don't know why I'm seeing an element of like you giving something to somebody that they did not ask for, or something that they told you not to give them anyway, and you could be doing this. If there, like I said, if there is a person involved, your advice is to deal with a Libra out of self-love, or it is to treat somebody else how you're being treated. Make sure something is equal. All right, make sure something's equal, give and take here. All right, so that is Pisces. That's Pisces reading. Thank you for the rose. Good morning. Welcome, y'all. If you're on TikTok, this will be up on YouTube, time-stamped. So far, we did Leo and Pisces, and then we're going to do Cancer, Aquarius, Libra, Sag, Gemini, Taurus, Virgo, Aries, Scorpio, and Capricorn. All right, so Cancer is up next. Also, y'all, don't forget, if you join as a member, you get to see the members only career and love readings, and you do get a personal question. I have 2 tiers of members, but I think I'm going to edit it so that's just one subscription. So that's just one thing, and every member gets all the whatever, like all the same perks. So I think I'm going to do that. All right, Cancer. Thank you. Thank you for posting that. Thank you for the roses, y'all. All right, what is the center of the reading for the Cancers? Center of the reading for the Cancers. Let's see. Okay, finesse. All right, so typically when we get finesse, we need a backup plan, or something that we are planning on occurring may not work that way. This is an energy where somebody can very well get caught, tricked, something like that. What role do you play here, Cancers? Yes. Eat some fruit with it too. Eat some grapes or something, or if you got cherries. All right, what role do you play here, Cancers? Let's see. Okay, mystery. So you're hiding something. Whenever you guys come out as hiding, I do want to keep that part a secret. Because people do cross watch, but we'll continue. I'll try to get as much in as I can. You said she came in on her reading. Yeah. Let's see what she's hiding. No, I'm just kidding. All right. I'm not kidding at all. No. All right. Well, let's see. Cancers. What energy should you be in, Cancers? Let's see. Okay. So you should be in defense. All right. So this is the thing. I feel like somebody's trying to trick you then. All right, so because the center of your reading is finesse. If you're supposed to be defense, you're going to block it out or stop something from occurring. All right, what do you need to say no to here? Or what do you need to block out? Oh, rebellion. Pisces did come out as rebellion. All right, and they did have Cancer energy. All right, so if you're dealing Cancers, if you are dealing with a Pisces, you should tell that Pisces no. If this is you, I wouldn't rebel against anything. I don't think it is. With mystery, let's see, what are you keeping to yourself? And we'll just keep that part. And I'm going to figure out, okay. All right, what are you intending? Let's see, what is somebody intending to do here? What's their intended outcome? I see transition. What's their intended outcome here? Leadership. Okay, so they want to lead you to do something. They want to teach you. Okay, what do they want to lead you to do? Or they're trying to initiate something. What are they trying to get you to do here? Okay, so they want you, there's supposed to be a, somebody is trying to trick you into believing a certain mindset when it comes to happiness. Okay. And that's not going to work. They want, okay, somebody wants you to view something as funny, or somebody also wants you to believe like we're all family. I feel like too, somebody wants to lead you to believe in some sort of fantasy, but that automatically, this is the thing too. I feel like you're not going to believe in this because you already have evidence of something else and they don't know that. So there's something that you've already seen come to fruition and materialize for you. And so somebody else is going to try to lead you to believe in some sort of fantasy or some sort of outcome that may not actually be real. All right, so let's see. Let's get 8 cards. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you. All right, let's see. It definitely has something to deal with a relationship or a partnership. Okay. They're trying to lead you to believe something about marriage is going to always be the same, or you'll love being married. It has something to do with marriage or coming together. I feel like too, this is random, but if somebody's trying to find like a home or a house, there somebody is trying to get you to see the neighborhood in a certain way. Somebody wants you to like perceive the people here in a certain way. I'm also getting to somebody, they want you to, yeah, here's the 8 of Swords. I feel like the person that's trying to lead you or implement something, they don't really realize that their mindset is trapped. Now, Pisces had that energy come out in their reading, but it's like they're only following this rule because they have a trap mindset, and so they're trying to lead you to believe the same thing. It would literally affect how you make a decision here. Like it would affect how you, okay, so it's not going to work. Whatever it is, it's it's not going to work. Welcome. Welcome, y'all. What are you doing in mystery really quick? Cancers. I feel like you kind of already know not to listen to this. Yeah, you already know somebody's, you can already see it. You already got evidence of this somehow, or you can already, because here it is right there. You already know somebody's a liar, or like they're trying to trick you. You're almost going to be on something where you know this. You kind of want to see what somebody is going to do. So what else is their intended outcome here? They want to get you to believe in a certain thing. So with the World card, what do they want to bring to an end? This is kind of like, yeah, like they want to present some sort of happy ending, or what do they want to bring to an end here? Oh, they want you to stop worrying about something? Okay. What are you actually concerned about? Because this is like, oh, this will make you happy. This is a good idea. But you don't trust something. So what are you worried about, or what don't you trust here? I feel like you don't want to follow the... Now, the person that you're blocking out is rebellion. I feel like you have a certain rule or regulation that you set for yourself, and you are concerned about that. I feel like you're concerned about yourself and your own well-being. I'm also getting to, you're concerned about your home life. You don't want... I don't think you want somebody in your home. For some of you, you don't like the relationship between your mother and this person. Okay, what rule did you set for yourself here, Cancers? And you are, I mean, you know, you have a right to be concerned about it. You're like, I need... I feel like, okay, so this also is a scenario where that's what I'm, yeah, a trap mindset about being happy. It's almost like somebody's trying to force you to always be happy all the time, and that's not a part of life. Or like, if you fall into a mindset where you're just comfortable or happy with everything, you'll never want to change something. So that, I feel like that's how this person is. It's like they're advising you to do something that would change your mood, but the scenario that caused that mood is the same. Um, So like say this is even like say you were going to get a medication or something like that. You know that the medication you're getting is just to treat a side effect. It's not to get rid of the root cause. But yet something or somebody is trying to convince you, yeah, this is the cure. But you're like, no, that's not like the actual cure. The issue is still there. So you're like, no, I'm not going to, like somebody kind of wants you to change or like mold yourself to fit into an energy where you would be sad and you're just supposed to be okay with it. Because their mindset, I feel like somebody's mindset on happiness is like, oh, you can just change. Like somebody doesn't, they change the mood, they don't change the issue. It's like this person's thought process is you're not happy sitting at the cold bus stop, right? Okay, drink some liquor. That's going to warm you up. The issue is I'm still at the cold bus stop. So how am I going to get a car? How am I going to get more money to get on an Uber? How am I like that is the thing. That's what's wrong. It's like a pacifying energy. All right, so that is Cancer's reading. The readings are pretty straightforward today. All right, I like when the readings are clear. If you're watching me on TikTok, this is up on YouTube. All right, it will be time stamped. It's up there. Yeah. And thank y'all. Y'all helped me get to Scorpio has not been done. I'm gonna let y'all know the order real quick. But thank y'all so much because y'all have also helped me to get to my 4,000 watch hours already in 1 month on YouTube. Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. That helps me to get monetized. And so when everybody gets on here and tries to say that I'm scamming people, I don't have to do that because YouTube pays me. So that's great. All right. So far we did. You said, is this my new channel? Yes, this is my channel. It's technically still the same channel. Shout out to YouTube. They let me reactivate my channel. All right. And Shopify let me reactivate my Shopify store. So if anybody is thinking about doing anything, you know, in your own businesses, Shopify and YouTube, shout outs to them. That's the place to go. All right. My Etsy shop was there too. I have an Etsy shop up. I reopened that. But anywho, so we did Leo, Pisces, Cancer, and we're going to do Aquarius, Libra, Sag, Gemini, Taurus, Virgo, Aries, Scorpio, Capricorn. And my channel name, those of you watching on TikTok, Twitch, and Kick, my channel, excuse me, on YouTube is the same username. It is EeshUrHeartOut. All right, so it's EeshUrHeartOut. It's the same username. My Twitch is EeshUrHeartOut official, but the other EeshUrHeartOut on Twitch is me. I just don't have the password, so that is still technically me, but it's nothing up there. Thank you for the rose. All right, I gotta fix my curl, y'all. The first curl day is never my favorite. The second and third curl days are the best. All right, let's do Aquarius. Aquarius is next. If you're wondering why we're going in this order, we go in first come, first serve. So that is how we do that. So it won't be in order of the zodiac. All right, what is the center of the reading for the Aquarius, folks? Let's see. What is the center of the reading for my Aquarius is? Okay, self-esteem. All right, somebody may feel offended. I think you guys might have had that yesterday. Maybe feeling offended, left out, isolated. All right, what role do you play here, Aquarius? Okay, your sexuality. So you're dealing with a Gemini, talking about Gemini, or you are partnered up with somebody. This could be somebody you're partnered with in a relationship, things like that. All right, what energy should you be in, Aquarius? Okay, so you should be in leadership. All right, you're going to have to help somebody. What are you going to lead someone to do here? What are you going to lead someone to do? Okay, change. All right, so somebody needs to change here. Okay, I'll answer that in a second. All right, so you're going to lead somebody to change something that they are doing. What is the person currently doing? Ooh, power. Okay, it looks like they might be yelling at somebody, or there could be an abuse of power. All right, what are you leading them to change into? Interesting. Inspiration. Aquarius, that's typically your card, right? So, one way this could go, if you're dealing with another Aquarius, you may be telling them to like kind of calm down, but I feel like you're trying to get somebody to follow in your footsteps. I'm also getting two, you want somebody to be more inspirational. Somebody's going for, you want somebody to change from being like mean, forceful, and dominating a little bit, or abusing that power. They need to become kinder, nicer when they're saying something. They need to actually be able to inspire that person. All right. If you, now this can also be within you, Aquarius. All right. So if you're in a leadership position, make sure you're not yelling or forcing somebody. Make sure that you're saying something that you need to say in an inspiring manner. All right. Now, that could be why the center of the reading is self-esteem. So it looks like somebody could not, like whatever the constructive criticism is, the delivery may be making somebody feel offended. All right, so let's get 8 cards. Let's see. All right, so intuition is coming out, the high priestess and the judgment. This is somebody is saying something intuitively that is correct. They're saying it to an entire group of people. Their intuition is correct. They know when to say something and how to say it. All right, 7 of Wands, 6 of Cups, King of Cups, 7 of Cups, a lot of sevens, a lot of cups, 8 of Swords, and then here's the Devil card. Okay, so then it turns into a fear. All right, so let's start out with the intuition. With the High Priestess and the Judgment, what is somebody intuitively doing here? What are they intuitively doing? All right, we've got, okay, so we mentioned fluidity and finesse. That came out in that Cancer reading where I told them that somebody's trying to get them to kind of be okay with something that's not really okay. All right. So we know that. All right. So because somebody's intuitively saying something, what does that block out? It stops what from happening? Yeah, luck and style. Literally, the reading that I gave Cancer. I feel like something prevents a repetitive cycle from occurring as well. If you have, I don't know if you have a Cancer around you, Aquarius, you might have to inspire somebody who has an intuitive gift, or they're using their own natural born gifts here. So even if it's not something about intuition, somebody could just be like a good singer, a good cook, a great teacher, whatever they're naturally good at. This is what this individual is doing. But I do feel like there is a realm here where this could be the person that needs the inspiration, even though they're correct or right. It might something may stop them from following their intuition, but we're going to clarify. What else is the Judgment here? All right, and then what is the Devil card real quick? Interesting. Both are respect and respect. So something boils down to the level of respect that somebody has for themselves, or the rules and regulations that they have for themselves. What are you going to inspire somebody to do? Oh, yeah, voice. All right, there it is. I feel like it's them speaking up. Let's see what else you're going to do in inspiration. What else are you going to do in it? Or you're changing this person from it. Wait, I'm sorry. I'm saying it wrong. This person is in power. So what are they doing in power? They could be yelling or something. Yeah, I don't know if this is the same person, but somebody is like very rushing or very harsh. All right, what would they turn into with inspiration? I don't think that's the same person if they're coming out as following their intuition. All right, now they would be the Three of Wands. They would be more open to listening to people. Yeah, there's the Ace of Wands right there. They're going to also learn how to inspire people to more so come together. It's going to, something that this person is doing is going to inspire a bunch of people who are fighting or conflicted. They're all going to end up seeing that they have something in common. That's interesting. All right. What is the Eight of Swords trap mindset about what here? Being independent. Okay, yeah, confidence. There's the power part and humor. All right, so what is this person going to be able to inspire people to do? Yeah, see, I feel like this is you. I feel like part of this is you, Aquarius, or somebody else that you're dealing with. It's how you're delivering it. All right, it's the way you're delivering the message. Just make sure that you are calmer or you're willing to more so listen to people. I feel like too, whoever is in this situation, they need to get more information on the people that they're working with, talking to, organizing, so that when everybody is together, they'll be able to be more organized, or like the person that's in the leadership position or instead of the power position, in order to inspire, they get to know people. They get to know like what each person wants or needs. If this has anything to do with like children in school, it would be like the teacher, needs to inspire the person to be better. Like the constructive criticism needs to be more constructive than critical. I feel like is the best thing to put right there. All right. Okay, so that was Aquarius. These readings are pretty straightforward to the point. Um, that reading also really quick did remind me, because it just had the High Priestess and the Judgment out. I'm being called to give this message. I don't know why, but if it applies to y'all, what I do want to say is please be mindful of how many readers you guys watch. All right, I would say pick and choose who resonates with you the best, or like who you trust the best. And I say that because like I know if y'all come to me for a question or for a reading, if you're asking me about another reading that a reader gave to you, my reading may be completely different than what they came up with or what they were able to see. All right, so I just want to put that out there. Sometimes if y'all want me to confirm something that somebody else saw, I just don't see it that way. I don't read it that way. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Pick and choose the readers that really work for you, that really help you. All right, so I just wanted to put that out there. All right, so Libra is next. We're going to do Libra next. We did Leo, Pisces, Cancer, and Aquarius so far. All right, we're going to do Libra, Sag, Gemini, Taurus, Virgo, Aries, Scorpio, and Capricorn. All right. All right, Libra. Libras. Also, just to continue that message, to be quite frank with you, a lot of people just read tarot with the generic definitions, y'all. Okay? Please. Like, if somebody's not using intuition or like experience or something like that, please be mindful of what kind of message that they're giving you. Like, you'll very rarely hear me give the type of message that's like, oh, you have an opportunity coming into you, or money is going to come to you, or this person's going to bring this to you. I very rarely say anything like that. So just want to put that out there. Hold on, I think I need to I gotta reply to this email. But I just wanted to put that out there for y'all. Hi. Scorpio is like second to last, I believe. Oh, Lordy. All right, here we go. Okay. I'm trying to okay, we're gonna figure that out. All right, let's see. Let me change the timestamp real quick. We're on Libra. We are on Libra. I'm going to have to use, you sound right. Yeah, I'm trying to say that in a politically correct manner. Please, y'all. Readers are not, I mean, quite frankly, never mind, I'm not even going to say it like that. All right, let's focus. Libras, what's the center of the reading for the Libras? Because y'all know I'll be saying anything. All right, what's center of the reading for the Libras here? Okay, a Sagittarius energy. If you don't know a Sag, it just means patience, taking your time, slowing yourself down, things like that. Yeah, there's going to be certain signs, I guess, that I get for the signs over and over again. But a Sag is the center of the reading here. What role do you play here, Libras? Okay, so you're leadership. All right, so you're in a leadership position. All right, what are you leading somebody to do here? You're initiating something. You're getting somebody to work for you. Literally, leadership and ambition. You're hiring somebody, you want somebody to work with you, work for you, or you are getting somebody to be more ambitious, to work on themselves, build something up for themselves. Okay, what other energy should you be in here, Libras? I feel like you're hiring somebody or something. All right, so the energy you should be in is sexuality. So you and Aquarius should change places. You and Aquarius should switch the positions that you're in. Because Aquarius came out as sexuality and their advice was leadership. Your leadership and your advice is sexuality. So you and Aquarius need to hear from each other or share ideas or bounce ideas off of each other or something like that. With sexuality here, this is Gemini energy, but it's also about like partnering up or like, because I feel like you need to be a listening ear. You need to listen to someone. All right, what do you need to listen to here? You need to be open to, okay, healing. So I feel like you need to listen to somebody's solution. Or somebody knows how to repair something, fix something. All right, what else is the issue? What does it need to be healed into? Let's see. So you need to be a listening ear here this time. Even though you're the leader, we know, Libra. All right, so confidence and knowledge. Okay, so I feel like the thing here is, first of all, you need to learn how to be confident in what you already know. That's number one. Like, maybe you already have information and you don't believe in it. I'm also getting two. You might be leading somebody to do something maybe repetitive where there's something they can do that's out of the ordinary, but we're going to clarify. The Ace of Pentacles flew out. Let's see. There's a Temperance. There's a Sagittarius. All right. Looks like the Sag is talking. Why is there's anxiety or there is worry? You know what? I'm going to show y'all this. In the Aquarius reading I just did, right? I said that Libra and Aquarius need to switch places. In the Aquarius reading, they had the High Priestess in the Judgment. In the Libra reading, there's the Nine of Swords in the Judgment. So previously, intuition was making the call. Intuition was correct, or there was a judgment made on a gut instinct. Here in this reading, these are worries, or we're overthinking and we're nervous and we're saying something. And so there's the flip. That's what the difference is. So I feel like if you're the person that's in charge right now, Libra, you may be very worried or nervous. You may not be acting from a place that's really centered. So let's see what else you're doing in leadership. I feel like too, if you're making a decision while you are worried, try to calm yourself down. But let's see, what are you doing in leadership, Libra? You're coming out as a Queen of Wands. Yeah, so you're teaching somebody. You're sharing what you already know. All right. And what are you leading someone to do? You could have Sag placements if this, since we have Angel twice and Queen of Wands. What are you leading someone to do? Let's see. Yeah, the Seven of Swords, to repeat or copy something. You're teaching somebody, but they're on the Seven of Swords. Okay. What is the result for this person, what you're teaching them? Maybe you're trying to give them a shortcut, but that's not really giving them a real, okay. Yeah, the outcome for this person is the Eight of Pentacles. They start repeating something. It could be working, but it could be working. You're giving somebody a strategy where it repeats. Okay, what energy would you be in if you were in sexuality here? Yeah, you would be the Four of Swords. So you wouldn't be doing the speaking. I feel like you would actually have to listen to somebody. Who should you be listening to or learning from in this moment? I don't think this is the right time to share something yet. Yeah, the World. Because remember, whatever you're trying to get somebody to do, they end up repeating something, or it's repetitive, or they're constantly building it up. But if you would take some more time out to listen, you would come up with a solution that actually brings something to an end or brings something to a close. What does the Temperance, or what does Angel have to do with this here? That's the person that you're trying to teach or lead. That's the person that you tried to lead. You might have misled somebody. What should they be doing without your leadership or without your guidance? Let's see. What would the Sag be doing without your leadership or guidance? Dominance. Okay, they would have more. Okay, what would they be dominating or controlling? Their own voice. All right, so I'm assuming they would be like the one that's talking. They shouldn't be listening to you. What are we worried about here with the Nine of Swords? Yeah, see, it starts out with superstition. The conversation or this is being based off of a superstition quite like out of nowhere, or like a bunch of worries or anxieties. And what's the judgment real quick? And then, yeah, there's the trap mindset, connectivity. This is not, so this rule or this, whatever is going on, this is not correct. All right, what's your roll down in these cards here? So you should not teach this, or you should learn from somebody else or listen to someone else. What's your energy down here in these 8 cards? What else can we get here? Yeah, your energy is coming out as a 2 of Pentacles. So something is a little, right now, it's a little unstable, or you're missing information. What is this? Yeah, what's that? And what's this in the background? What is that? Because you're getting people to like listen to you or pay attention to you or follow some sort of rule here. It's not, I don't think this is a good idea. There ends up being something too where you're doing something imbalanced. What is this? Yeah, what's that? Like something, this doesn't make sense. There's something to do with like, this is odd. Basically, to sum it up, you're leading somebody to repeat something and it doesn't make sense. The guidance that you gave, you may need to listen to something else or get more information before you start guiding somebody or teaching them. Because you have like a Sag repeating something. But if they didn't listen to you, they would be more dominant, or they would be in full control of something. I feel like it started out because there was a worry. So it's like when Aquarius's energy, they were supposed to be in leadership. It's because in that reading, the high priestess in the judgment came out. Like it is an intuitive gift. It made sense. In your reading, we're starting out with anxiety and worries and overthinking, and so you're not in the right mindset to really give the advice yet. That's basically what this is looking like to me. All right. If there's any Sages still watching, or I guess I didn't even do Sag yet. So if you took some advice from a Libra, you probably shan't. Oh, Sag is next. I'm gonna make a note that I'll put in the description. So we're gonna do Sagittarius. That was interesting. Libra and Sag tends to be connected a lot. I see Libra with Cancer, Leo, and Sag a lot. Okay. You said you usually see me on TikTok. Well, welcome. Welcome to the YouTube. Let's see. Guys, also, when y'all book readings, please put your emails, but I'll have to get a text now number because everybody don't need my number. But please put emails so that I can email y'all. All right, what's the center of the reading for the Sagittarius is? Hold on, let me drink some water. Sagittarius, y'all came out in the Libra reading. So, looks like you're on the Libra's radar again. Oh, your daughter is a Libra and you're a Sag and your ex is a Leo. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. All right. Let's see. All right, so what is the center of the reading, Sagittarius, is for you? What is the center of your reading for yourself? And your grandson's a Sag? Oh, snap. All right, so power. Okay, so this did come out in the Aquarius reading. This can be about yelling at people, getting mad at people. If you are trying to encourage someone, because their advice was to lead somebody to be more inspirational. So just, you know, we want to keep that in mind. That could be you, because that did come out in that reading. So if you are telling somebody something, make sure you're being as inspirational as you possibly can be. But we're going to see. So the center of the reading is power. All right, what role do you play here, Sagittarius, in your reading? You are respect. So you're following some sort of rule or regulation here. What rule are you following? Or you could be setting some sort of rules or regulations. Okay, so peace. Interesting. Peace, versatility, and confidence. Okay, not bad. All right, so you want something to be peaceful, calm. If there's a rule or regulation for yourself, you're like, you know what, if I'm not going to speak on that if I'm not supposed to or whatever. All right, what other energy should you be in, Sagittarius, for yourself? What other energy should you be in? Oh, superstition. Okay, so there's a rule where you're like, I should not worry about this, but in this case, you should not trust something. All right, so let's see. So there's something you shouldn't trust, or there is something you should be concerned about. I'm also getting to, if there's a rule where you're like, I'm not going to say anything and you're supposed to warn somebody, you know, keep that in mind. Maybe you are supposed to say something. So what are you supposed to be concerned about here? Let's see. What are you supposed to be concerned about? Okay, healing. You should wonder. Okay, healing, order, and strength. If you don't work, okay, if this is within you guys and this has anything to do with illnesses or anything like that, make sure that, you know, something is actually being fixed, or make sure that you're actually doing something that's healing for yourself. That's odd, because yesterday, it's like it's switched. So from yesterday, you were not supposed to be worried about something getting better. And that today you are supposed to worry about that. You are supposed to be concerned with whether or not something will be healed. Okay. So let's figure out what that is. And so that isn't, I don't think that's you and the power thing. All right. So what is the issue? That could be somebody outside of you or something. All right. So what's the issue that needs to be healed? Oh, it is the Libra. Oh, that's why Sagittarius came out in their reading. So something actually is a little concerning there with Libras. All right, listen. What? Hold on. What does it need to be healed into? Oh, shit. Okay, emotions. All right, we've got emotions, personality, self-esteem. Okay, so I'm going to assume like a Libra should control their emotions, or maybe a Libra has power over somebody's emotions here. They're able to control how somebody feels. You must be witnessing this. Like, you're like, you know what? I'm not even going to say anything. That this could be what's going on. If you dealt with a Libra at all, I would... I'm sorry, I'm laughing at his comment on here. If Sagittarius, if you are dealing with a Libra at all, you should be concerned about like an effect that they had maybe on your mentality. All right, you should be concerned about that. But if this is about, I feel like that person actually needs to heal, or or get over something or stop doing something, because normally you turn a blind eye to it or you don't notice or you're not going to say anything, but I guess you should in this scenario. All right, but you should be concerned. Something should lead to healing and emotional, I guess, making something more emotionally stable. All right, so let's get 8 cards. Let's see. The Judgment is coming out a lot. All right, there's the King of Cups. There's the High Priestess, Queen of Pentacles, and 9 of Cups, Lovers. There's a 7 of Swords, and then the 8 of Pentacles. This is literally what a Libra got you doing. Literally, this is what the Libra led somebody to do. So you were repetitively doing something the wrong way, or like repetitively using the wrong strategy. Let's see what else. What is your, well, you know I like to pull the High Priestess, so what else is your intuition telling you here, Sag? What else is your intuition telling you to do? Okay, passion and humor. All right, so a desire for whatever you enjoy here. What is this? It's, how do I want to explain this? What else does a Libra have you doing or thinking or believing in or... Okay, self-love? Maybe they have you... What do they have you believing about self-love? That it has dominance over knowledge? Okay, so they may have you thinking like every time you do something by yourself or alone or something like that, that's more important than, I don't know. I don't know what that would be more important than, or like self-love has full control over something. Because remember, we're talking about healing emotions. So self-love in this case would mean every single time you do something, it's all about you. It's about how you feel. And we know that in real life, that's just not the case. You can't always, I mean, you know, you're going to go to work and work. You're not always going to feel like yourself, or you're not always going to feel comfortable, or you're not always going to be able to pacify yourself. But you know, yeah, all right. I'm also getting to, if your intuition is telling you passion, you know to take action regardless of like how you feel in a scenario. This is, I wish I could pinpoint exactly what they've told you or taught you. Because it like basically has you on the wrong path. Or I will say this too. With you coming out as a High Priestess, I feel like your intuition is like stronger than whatever the Libra taught you or told you. Something you're doing is like better. And I'm going to show you this too. This person may have told you something that kind of benefits them, right? Like they're telling you something that benefits them. They're not using intuition when they're saying it. All right. What was your intended outcome? Because it's like whatever they told you is not working or something, or the advice they gave you. What is your intended outcome for yourself? Love. And what did they tell you to do to get that? So this could be about you wanting, like, it could literally be love, like romance, but... Or if it's not love, maybe you were like, yeah, I want to make sure that these people are good or this person's okay. Things like that if it's not romantic. All right, what did they tell you to do to get this? It looks like it has something to do with self-love. Yeah, love. This is backwards. Something's odd. Something's not... It's not adding up. So the best way I could do, so somebody's telling you like, you know, if you're loving or something like that, you'll get love in return. We know that that's not the case. If this is general, I'm trying to figure out another way that would be able to fit into another scenario. This could be like a you scratch my back, I scratch yours type of deal, but it's not really doing that. I'm also getting to, and I'm going to say this for people because I'm getting a lot of new viewers, and I did do a monthly question, And this is kind of tied to the warning I gave about watching a bunch of other readers. The first people that I was watching, most of them were Libras, and a lot of them taught that narrative of the twin flame and stuff like that. And that's not true. So there could be something like that narrative is not real, or maybe a Libra. There's another Libra that told me I needed to get a man, and I was like, that's terrible advice. I was like, that is not the solution at all. So they could be saying something about love, like about romance. I will say too, Libra women, and it's, hey, y'all can argue with yourselves because I know it's gonna make somebody mad, but Libra women are extremely male centered. They are very male centered. I cannot give you examples because I'm not putting nobody's business out there, but Libras, oh my God. I will give you an example. I had a Libra female friend. She literally did not want to come celebrate my birthday because it was all women. She said word for word, bar for bar, there going to be any dudes there? I said, no, we just hanging out, we just cooking. That bitch ain't come. Because it wasn't no niggas. I'm telling you, if there was a Libra giving you Sag, any advice on love, don't take that advice. All right, don't take that advice. Yeah, she was terrible all around. So that was a whole different, she was just a bad person. So every Libra is not a bad person, but she just had other issues. But they are extremely very male-centered. All right, so whatever advice a Libra gave you, Sagittarius, please do not listen to whatever this love advice they gave you. It is not real. All right. It's just not real. I feel like too, you have a habit of, your intuition guides you, and then you have a habit of going and listening to someone else, the lovers. You listen to people outside of you, or you take their advice instead of yours. All right, so let's see. You said, what's my star sign? I'm a Sag. Yeah, Sag and Libra is like water and oil, to be honest. I don't think, like, a Sag should not be taking advice from a Libra ever. All right, let's see. No shade. Libras, don't tell us you're a Libra in the comments. Don't tell them yourselves right now, okay? It's like, I just play. You said, do I like Geminis? Yeah, I like Geminis. I really don't have no issue. Well, I do, but we'll talk about this after. Let me finish this real quick. All right, so what else might have you questioning your intuition? You do need to heal from a dynamic with a Libra, or you need to admit like a Libra needs to heal. Yeah, vision and fight, and then there's truth. So you may see that something is a distraction. You know what else too? Yesterday when I did the readings, there was one of the readings did confirm for me. I'm not going to say which sign, because that was kind of like a dramatic reading for them, but it did get confirmed. All right, but yeah, this is not a good strategy. What other energy should you be in here, Sagittarius, is for yourself? You've got mystery. Okay, what else do you need to keep to yourself here with mystery? Let's see. Yeah, no, you should be concerned. Yeah. You definitely, I would not, okay. Yeah, no. If you trust the Libra, I wouldn't be around the Libra right now. Yeah. All right, heal your emotions. Maybe that person knows how to trigger you. Don't let them trigger you. Thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that. All right, so real quick, y'all. We did Leo, Pisces, Cancer, Aquarius, Libra, and Sagittarius. Sagittarius is please watch the Libra and the Aquarius readings. Yeah. All right, so we got Gemini, Taurus, Virgo, Aries, Scorpio, and Capricorn. All right. Yeah. Somebody asked if I like Geminis. I do like Geminis. The only sign, like, there are signs that I don't like, but that's because of personal experiences with them. So I can't say that all signs or all people that sign is bad. But for me, Libras are not. Libras are okay in doses. Scorpios are attractive but bad men. But they're very attractive. You said, do I like Sagittariuses? Yes, of course. I'm a Sag. I like Sages. Now, I can't really date other Sag Venus. I said Venus because I said that. I can't really date other Sagittariuses, but I did Cancer at 27 minutes. It's up on my YouTube. My YouTube is the same username. All right, Geminis, y'all are up next. Let me get the time stamp. Geminis, let's see. Also, guys, if y'all join as a member, you get the monthly question and the career and money readings. Truth came out. Truth came out. You said, what about Scorpio women? I'm trying to think if I had a lot of... Scorpio women are nice, but they... if it comes down to like business and stuff, they don't care. They're very cutthroat if you like work with them, but they're cool. But if you work for them or work with them, they will not allow you to work with them. They are not a co-worker friendly type of person. All right, what's the sense of the reading for the Gemini? You said, how come I don't date Sagittarius men? I don't know. I dated a Sag man for a few months last year. He was cool. We did a lot of stuff together, like a lot of events. So he was really cool for that part. But he was also old. So I think age was his issue. Okay, Geminis. What's the center of the reader for the Geminis? He was an oldie. All right, the Strength card, a Leo. So for the past maybe week or so, I have been seeing Gemini and Leo come out together a lot. You say you agree with the Scorpio co-workers. All right, so Leo is the center of your reading, Strength. All right, Geminis, what role do you play here? Let's see. Okay, you're being yourself, Gemini. All right, you're in the same similar position as Aquarius. You're listening, you're open to listening or whatever. But you are being yourself. You're focused on yourself. So I think the Geminis might be having a little beef with Leos. Y'all been having a little back and forth with that Leo energy. All right, let's see. You said you're friendly when it comes to co-working and you're a Scorpio. All right, girl, I believe you. I had 2 Scorpio bosses and a Scorpio and I had 3 Scorpio bosses and a Scorpio supervisor. So I have a lot of experience. And, okay, anyway. All right, what energy should you be in, Geminis? Let's see. What energy should you be in? Okay, vision. You need to see something clearly. You need to step back and observe. This is another Gemini card. Shout out to Left Eye. All right. You're a Pisces. I did Pisces back at 18 minutes. All right, so what do you need to see clearly, Geminis, or observe? Fight. I did just say y'all been fighting with a Leo. You need to see that there's competition, or you need to see that something is a distraction. Something's distracting you from focusing. All right, let's see. Literally, there is a perspective on what is a distraction and what you should be focused on. So what is currently distracting you really quick? I'm also getting like, see that something is petty in the grand scheme. Okay, and what should you focus on? Strength, Leo. You need to notice that a Leo has the courage to love. All right. I want to clarify that, but that's what's coming out. You're getting distracted by humor, which can be large groups of people. Now, Gemini, if you're watching this and you have a Leo placement, if you got a Leo rising or a Leo moon, if you're a Leo rising, you need to focus on how you appear out into the public, your first impression on people. If you're a Leo moon, you need to focus on like intimate connections or people around you. But you're not, if you're wondering why a Leo has something, they have the courage to be nice, generous, loving, kind. All right. You don't okay, why? What else do you need to focus on about this Leo or see about this Leo? Transition and passion. We said that Sag is supposed to be in passion. What will you do with what you notice? How will you implement this information? Okay, rebellion. Let's see. Your birthday is November 22nd. That's real Scorpio. That's real close to Scorpio. All right, let's see. Let's get 8 cards here. So you need to notice something about this Leo. That is what you need to focus on. All right, you're getting distracted. You could also be getting distracted by romance, but this is okay, so this was the Libra reading. I just told Libra that they need to actually listen and not teach. They should not teach, they should listen. That was literally what I just told Libra. Not sure why that's coming out in your reading, but I can see it here. All right, so there's an energy where somebody is approaching somebody. They're like, hey, like, do you think this is a good idea? So I feel like that's what the humor part is. Somebody being romantic, nice, kind. All right, but I feel like there's still a need to move away from this offer. Like, it's not a good idea. Let's see, what else are you being offered here? What is humor that you're being distracted by? It's too many people around you. There's too many people talking to you. Maybe people are reacting or talking to, like, it's too many people around. You can't focus. You can't listen. You don't understand what's going on. And what do you need to see with Leo here? It's too many people like clouding your judgment. What do you need to see about the Strength card? Yeah, okay. The 4 Wands, 8 of Wands, King of Wands. Yeah, somebody is... Okay, so it looks like somebody is very confident and sure of themselves. And they are able to be generous to an entire group of people here, the 10 of Pentacles. I feel like that's what you're wondering. Because it could be like an energy. So what are you doing as yourself real quick with sexuality? You could be wondering why that's occurring. Why does that Leo have support, or why does that Leo have people around them? They're doing something out of the kindness of their own heart, or they're being generous. All right, let's see. What are you doing in the sexuality energy? Okay, yeah, the 5 of Pentacles. So yeah, you're distracted by humor. You don't see something at all. You don't... What else don't you see back here? I feel like literally you could be like, when we're talking about distracted by humor, right? This could be like large groups of people, or like say this is the scenario. I'm looking at Leo. Why does Leo have all this support? You're like, man, how do they got all these people laughing and joking with them, and how do they deserve that? This Leo in particular was not afraid to be generous, kind, caring. That's why. I'm also getting don't forget a Leo. Like, don't forget a Leo. Pay attention to that Leo. Don't get distracted by something else. Don't get distracted by like a TV show or something like that. What else do you not see here? And it's literally like changing your focus. Yeah, if you this could be something done on purpose to get you to not pay attention to something, but there's like literal, like something physical, tangible there. Like if you just were to turn and look, you would understand what this meant, or you would understand why something works out here. I feel like too, this is within you. Focus on doing something repetitive. Keep the repetition up. Keep something going. Keep it consistent. Like, don't get, like, say something starts to work out for you and you get a lot of attention for that. Don't get lackadaisical. Don't start ignoring all the other work that you have to do. What else is the Ace of Pentacles here? Hold on, y'all. Lord Jesus. TikTok, don't get scammed, y'all. I didn't give the scam warning today. All right, let's see. What's the Ace of Pentacles? What do you have the opportunity to build here too? You might want to go out, like anything that's humor, anything indulging. I would not do that right now. For you, I would. What is the Ace of Pentacles? It's an opportunity to do what here? Yeah. Okay. That's okay. The Hierophant, the Five of Wands. Yeah. See, that's very different. Something may seem like everybody's getting along, but they're not. There's still issues behind the scenes. Like, don't look at something and take its word for it, or like don't take something at face value, or something looks very decorated very nicely, but make sure you're looking into something. But you're going to see what this is. There is another opportunity for you. Do not get distracted by indulgences of fantasy. What else could this be? Maybe not even, don't just automatically assume like, oh, something has a lot of people, so it's good for me, or a lot of people support it. I should be focusing over there, or focusing my attention over there. Or, oh, everybody does this, I need to be focused on that. No. If it's anything health related, Leo rules the heart. So I just want to put that out there. If it's anything that could cause heart palpitations or whatever or something, pay attention to that. All right, so that was Gemini's reading. Let's see. We got Taurus next, by the way. Okay. Let's see. I need to send a text message. I really want to do an email, but back in the day, I don't know if y'all remember, you used to be able to text from an email on the old phones. All right, so let's see. Gemini, or not Gemini, Taurus. That's how you know I didn't write my timestamp yet. All right, Tauruses, y'all are up next. Let's see. If you're watching me on TikTok, let me give a little disclaimer for the scams. The more we are live on here, the more fake pages is going to be of me. Do not get scammed. That is not me. I'm not going to DM you. All right. Only way to get a reading is at the link in my bio. Okay. All right. So what is the center of the reading for the Tauruses? Oh, that was too many. All right. Center of the reading for the Tauruses. Healing. All right, something needs to be fixed or healed in this scenario. All right, what role do you play here, Tauruses? What role do you play here? All right, passion. You're taking action. It's something that you desire. All right, this could, if you have Sag placements, these are similar cards of what Sag had. All right, what other energy should you be in here, Tauruses? Okay, truth. So what do you need to see the truth about? A fight or a conflict, or why a fight or a conflict ensued. Okay, why did that fight happen? What happened? What's going on behind the scenes? All right, what is the truth about this fight or this conflict? All right, we've got a Cancer, confidence, healing, and dominance. Okay, it looks like somebody is confident, so there is a fight with this person. Okay, looks dramatic. Let's see what we pull. All right, so you need to see the truth about why a fight occurred. Why did this fight ensue? And it looks like it has something to do with somebody being confident and being an individual. All right, let's see. Or doing something independent. The Nine of Swords is out. The Death card. Okay, the Seven of Pentacles. A lot of worry and a lot of anguish happened. All right, and now that worry is over. Okay. So I feel like looking back at the past or looking back at an opportunity where we were very anxious or worried, that anxiety is over because we're looking back at those times. There's a Knight of Wands, Six of Cups, Ten of Pentacles, and then the Eight of Swords. All right, so the major arcana here is a Death card, changes, transformations, a Scorpio. What is at the bottom? There's the Cancer. There it is right there. So what is the truth about the fight? There's the Cancer. It has something to do with a Cancer. Point blank, period. I'm literally getting two in these 8 cards. The worry is over. So what happens now? If somebody's not worried or anxious or stressing, how do we control that energy, or how do we control that person? All right. Now Sag was supposed to be concerned that something was not going to be fixed or healed dealing with a Libra, or that something is destructive. So if you have any of those placements, it may be time to take action on something. Something can be destructive here. But let's see. So you have healing. What are we fighting? What is the fight? Let me see what that even looks like. What is the conflict, competition? Okay, yeah, the Eight of Wands. So it's a lot of arguing, yelling. I'm getting like, this looks like a verbal argument. Okay. This can even be internal conflict, but I feel like this is a verbal argument or somebody yelling. All right, and then what? Let's see. Let's clarify what caused the conflict, the argument. I was going to say, okay, the Emperor, the Empress, the Star. So I feel like a perspective on somebody's mother and father, a perspective on masculine and feminine energy. How do we view that? How do we view that? I feel like, too, this looks like an internal conflict almost, because the Eight of Wands is almost like, I feel like there's a repetitive competition, too. What? I feel like also, like, the argument seems insignificant. You're like, why are they fighting? Or why is there an argument? Or why is there competition? There's a couple ways I can read this too. It's almost like there are two women competing for a man, but at the root of it, it started with a man or something. Let's see. What is the Emperor here? Real quick. Okay, what's the Empress? Oh, what's the Star? I wasn't expecting that. The reason there's a conflict is that Leo is in a relationship with somebody, or somebody is worried about this relationship. This person, the root of the argument is like, okay, this individual is receiving money from this person or from this man, and then that's what somebody is worried about. There's an argument about a Leo giving somebody money or something like that, or there's a fight about that. So what is somebody concerned about here? Or they're worried that okay, I don't know what your reading is, a little odd, Taurus. I'm not gonna lie, but the truth about the argument has something to do with a Leo giving somebody some money, or like a Leo's dynamic within a family structure. See, the truth about fight. What are people fighting for? What is supposed to be the result if they win the argument or they win this fight or conflict? Yeah, transition, superstition. There's versatility again. There's like a woman that does not trust. So maybe this person doesn't trust this woman, or like somebody's worried about whether or not something's going to work out or manifest. I'm also getting somebody is worried about being pregnant or worried about having a child here. I'm also getting somebody's not trust that this woman's going to be a good mother. This is a lot. This looks very there's also a worry that motherhood or marriage is going to cause somebody to struggle. Like maybe somebody doesn't have good like maybe the women in their family go through issues with childbirth or something like that. Like this looks this is a lot going on here. All right, so there is a lot to why this fight ensued or this conflict occurred, Taurus. So, all right, what other energy should you be in here? Yeah, change. What should you change this into? You've got self-esteem, self-love, and pride. I feel like too, you need to slow down and see what's going on, because it's almost like you don't realize what the fight is about yet. You may not know the whole story. Maybe you're coming into something and you want to side with somebody and you want to take their side automatically. You need to see what's really going on behind the scenes of this fight. You do not just kind of go into something knowing that you don't really know just yet. It's like it's there, but you don't see the truth about it. It's not hidden. Something's not really a secret, but it just might be how your perspective is. You may not want to admit like why somebody's in that conflict, why did this fight happen, but it needs to be, the root of it needs to be discovered there. All right, I feel like it has to do with like whether or not a Leo should be spending money, paying money, whatever. All right, Virgos. Virgo is next. And then we got Aries, Scorpio, Capricorn. If you guys join as a member, make sure y'all email me. All right, that's for my YouTube members so that you can get your monthly question. Email me with your YouTube username. All right, that's how I know. And I can just check the list. I wish that they don't give like emails, because I would just email y'all, but they don't do it that way. I did do Pisces at 18 minutes. It is up on my YouTube. My YouTube is the same username as EeshUrHeartOut. All right, so what is the energy surrounding Virgos? What's the energy situation? Okay, leadership. So this came out for Libra and Aquarius. Aquarius is supposed to be the leader here. And Libra is supposed to listen and learn. But you could be dealing with either of these signs. All right, so what role do you play here, Virgos? Okay, spirituality, something spiritual that you believe in, your own spiritual gifts. You could be clairvoyant, clairaudient. You could be pulling your own cards, or you're meditating, you're thinking. All right, what other energy should you be in here, Virgos? You're praying, you know, anything like that. Okay, so you should be in defiance. Now, the center of your reading is a leader. I'm going to assume this leader must have told you something that you're not supposed to do. So you're supposed to be defiant. You are supposed to go against something that you are taught. All right, so, or you're supposed to break some sort of so-called rule. What are you being told to do here really quick? Okay, sexuality. So these are kind of tied together. For some of you, you're being told what to believe in sexually, sensually. You're being told to work with a Gemini. All right, you could be also being told about something about masculine versus feminine. Yeah, it could have something to deal with sex. Because you have sexuality, personality, and passion. So there's some rule associated with how you view sexuality, sensuality. What maybe something comes off like, oh, they're hypersexual, or you know, that person's going to be more sexually reserved. There's some sort of identity automatically associated with sex. All right, for some people, if you're being told to work with a Gemini, you're probably supposed to go against that. All right, or if you're supposed to be listening to somebody, you're not supposed to be listening to that individual. All right, what are you supposed to be doing instead, Virgos? What are you supposed to be doing that's a little different here? Or completely different, really, with defiance. Okay, order. Now, if there is something where you're being taught to that it's okay to just have sex, like sexually fluid or something like that, I feel like you need to be focused on planning something and organizing something. All right, if you're being told to partner up with somebody to do this, I would do it on your own first. All right, yeah, do it on your own first. Order, potential, and intuition. You might want to try to pull your own cards. What else are you doing with spirituality? You got ambition, courage, and attitude. All right, so you're trying to have a new perspective here. You're doing something where you're able to open up your mind. All right, so you do have I feel like you have an open mind. You want to hear something different here. All right, what are you normally told? I feel like too, literally you are told what to think or something like that. But what is the rule here that you're normally taught, or this standard with sexuality, personality, and passion? It definitely has something to deal with women. All right, so it has something to deal with the type of woman that somebody is, or what equates to like a sexual woman. Okay. There's also a mindset that a woman is very cutthroat, or I feel like too there is a weird belief system, but like about a woman and their son. Women and their sons. There's a weird belief system there. Okay. Keep it in general. All right. So let's see what you're doing in spirituality. And then we'll see what you're supposed to do that's like completely different. Something's way off with that mindset, I'm assuming. I feel like too, the way this is depicted, it actually looks like you would think something is a rule, like a written rule, or like you would actually believe that. All right, so in spirituality, you're currently the Two of Swords. So I feel like you are trying to like meditate or calm down, or just trying to think for yourself, thinking clearly without any outside influences. Okay, so what is your energy with order? What should you do instead of what they are telling you to do? What should you be doing instead here? Yeah, there you're coming out as the Five of Swords. And you have the Star and the Magician. Aquarius's advice was to be leadership. Libra was supposed to listen. You need to listen to an Aquarius. All right, an Aquarius is giving you a good, yeah, I feel like an Aquarius is going to give you a different perspective. All right. This also causes some sort of struggles or difficulty. You are not supposed to listen to that. It would result in a struggle or a difficulty here. All right, I feel like too, this has to deal with the perspective. We see attitude. So perspective on what? And what will be your, oh, courage. Interesting. All right, what will be your, what's the old perspective on courage, being courageous? Oh, somebody's mindset also is that courage will automatically bring you money or something like that. Okay, what should be your new perspective? Yeah, versatility, leadership. There should be a woman that's in charge here. It should not be a Libra. That Libra changed something. This is the same. These are the same. You're going to realize that a Libra threw something off here. You're going to realize that a Libra is leading. The Libra should not be in charge. That's not who you should listen to. That's the easiest way I could put this. I feel like, too, if we're talking about sexuality, there should be a female leader. There should be a woman that's leading something. So this could be there's like definitely an idea between the men and the women here. I feel like, too, I feel like this is the Libra that gave you that advice. All right, let's see what else. What does this result in here? Because you're not supposed to do it. It would not be a good idea for you. I'm assuming doing something out of love. The Six of Cups. Something would also be imbalanced here. All right. What will be the outcome over here if you just don't listen to that, or you follow after an Aquarius's point of view here? Just for this scenario. Yeah, you got the Ten of Swords, Four of Wands, and then the Knight of Swords. Yeah, that's not... Because this is what you're doing when you're led by that info is being... And this is more equal. Something will actually be equal, give and take. Spirituality. Okay. That's your reading. I feel like it's good for you to sit and think on what somebody is telling you to do. All right, Aries. That was Virgo. Sorry, I did not mean to ignore y'all. All right, that was Virgo. Aries is up next. All right, Aries. What is the center? Ooh. What's the center of the reading for the Aries? Center of the reading for the Aries here. All right, sexuality. So this has come out in a couple of the readings. It came out for Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini. So this could be a reading about a Gemini, masculine, feminine, things like that. All right, what role do you play here, Aries? Now, yesterday, y'all came out kind of like upset, so just throwing that out there. All right, what energy are you in, or what role? Okay, so ambition. You're working on something, you're trying to build something up. All right, what other energy should you be in? Strength. Okay, so you got Leo energy. If these are people, and we're talking about Gemini versus Leo, you should deal with a Leo. We did mention that Gemini need to see something about Leo energy, so we'll just see what this is. But yeah, Leo, inspiration and respect. All right, so if you are building upon something, continue building upon it. Continue the consistency. All right, with ambition and strength, keep building it up. Keep it going. Keep it repetitive. All right, you don't need to change something. Let's see. Let's get a cards. Hey, welcome. Thank you for letting them know, Dusty. Okay, there is going to be a new perspective on what it means to love yourself, or to have compassion for yourself, or to care about how you feel in all scenarios. All right, that is what is going to occur. What are you doing in ambition, Aries? All right, yeah, you're working, you're focused on something. I feel like too, something is very stable that you're working on. And then what energy should you be in with the strength card? All right, you could be working with a Taurus or dealing with a Taurus. Yeah, the Queen of Wands, Leo energy. All right, you got 3 of Wands, 2 of Wands. What I'm definitely getting is to be patient here. All right, you know what you're doing. Stay repetitive on what you're doing. If this is at work, definitely show the strengths that you have. Show the knowledge that you have at work. Like, I would speak up, contribute things to the team. If you know a Leo, literally, I feel like that is who you are supposed to listen to, take advice from. What else will the Leo help you do here? Implement something that a Leo has taught you. Okay, it looks like a Leo is going to help you generate more income. All right, I feel like too, a Leo has you positioned around more people. Let's see what else. You guys may have Leo placements. All right, so my email is somewhere on my page here. It's definitely on my YouTube somewhere. But let's see. So what else is the strength card going to help you do or help you with? So they're warning you not to go against something. What did they warn you? So a Leo did warn you already. That Leo's warning. What did they warn you of or tell you to be, what should you be concerned about or think about or consider? Okay, so it's looking like somebody is letting you know, okay, does that have the potential to actually grow? Somebody's warning you of a potential financial loss. They don't think something has the ability to grow. You need to listen to that. Let's see what else. Let's see what a Leo told you. If they gave you this advice, they were right. They were correct. They were telling you the truth. They're saying also that if something doesn't have a regulation, I wouldn't go with it. That could be why something doesn't have the potential to grow. I'm also getting to, it doesn't have the potential to grow because somebody's not willing to put in the action or the work for it. All right. Yeah, there's a lot of water, a lot of fantasy type of thing here. So I wouldn't get caught up in a fantasy. There could also be the thought or the notion that everybody makes money from something or this works automatically, but there is still information that you don't know. What other information might be missing from this scenario or this opportunity here? Let's see. There's a star in the Magician too. So Aquarius did come out as a leader versus a Libra, if you're wondering. But I feel like there's not enough people around to make something work. You literally, again, like I said, the actions are not matching up. So each person has to do the same thing, or all the people involved have to put in the same level of effort or the same level of energy. All right, so I do see like something has a potential loss here. What else is missing from you being able to make this work? Let's see. Just depends on what this is. Yeah. It's not enough people. Not enough people support it. It's not going to be, something's not going to be enjoyable. I feel like to you, something might not even be enjoyable either. You may want to manage something or keep it around. But with the strength card, let's see what else you should do in strength, because you're already ambition. But I feel like this is more so like listening to somebody else. But stay consistent on something that you're building on. So this could also be telling you like you may want to go do something else. Somebody's like, I don't know if that really has a potential to grow, or I don't know if that's really going to work. All right, what is the result of strength for you? Yeah, literally. You are going to wonder why something did not work out. You are going to see it in the end. Yeah, it's not working out well for a large group of people to be involved. All right. I will look in other options or look for in other directions. Okay, that was Aries. Let's see. We got Scorpio and Capricorn left. Do we have any Scorpios and Capricorns? Do we have any Scorpios and Capricorns still around? Actually, you don't have to tell me that that's your sign if you don't want everybody in your business. You don't have to tell us. Okay, let's see. You're a Capricorn. All right, what's the center of the reading for the Scorpios? Center of the reading for the Scorpios. It's your rising sign. This has come out for like 50,000 signs today. All right, so sexuality could be a Gemini or somebody that you are partnered up with, masculine and feminine. All right, what role do you play here, Scorpio? Vision. Okay, so you are observing something. All right, what are you observing? You can see something clearly. What are you observing here? Oh, okay, the sexuality part. Either it's a Gemini or these people are teamed up together. All right, or you're observing something about the genders. Okay, what do you notice? What are you seeing? Okay, you've got innovation, connectivity, and defense. Okay, let me get one more. Oh, spirituality. So you can see it could be a Gemini, but somebody creates a mindset that is that blocks out a spiritual belief system. And that's the truth. There is something that blocks. All right, there's a couple ways I could read this. If there has some, like if you're looking about, like say you're thinking about spiritual belief systems and spiritual practices or tarot, you're like, oh, that's how we block out. That mindset is created to block out spiritual gifts, or created to block out the mind or the power of the mind, or to block out the use of like maybe even tarot cards or something like that. This could be as simple, like as literal as you doing your own cards and you're pulling the lover's card and you're like, but we're not in love, or there's no love here. That doesn't make sense. That's because that card doesn't always mean the lovers. So there's something like that, or like there could be a partner. There could be two people that are married or together, like a husband and wife, and there's something that blocks out a spiritual belief system. You're going to see this. You're watching it. You're watching somebody manipulate a mindset. Literally, it creates a trap mindset. Or somebody's making up like, oh yeah, these two things are connected. This is connected, and that may block out what a real spiritual gift would be, or like a real spiritual sign. So it's like, okay, yeah, this you're seeing this because of this. That's connected. That's a symbol. Or like this happened because of this. That's connected to this. But it stops you from really seeing the actual connections. All right, what other energy should you be in here, Scorpios? Let's see, what other energy should you be in? You should be in peace. So there's nothing for you to be concerned about. What should you be at peace with? That could be what, okay, you've got inspiration. So it could be an Aquarius. All right, Aquarius was supposed to be in leadership. You can allow, like, you're fine allowing that Aquarius to say whatever they need to say or do whatever they need to do. All right, so I'm going to say this too. If it's not a Gemini involved, it's a Libra. All right, it's like a Gemini or a Libra or something like that. I'm also getting literally you're seeing how the mind can make connections to things. Or like, oh, yeah, that reminds me of this and things like that. All right, so let's see. This could be even, I don't know why I'm getting like cognitive dissonance too. All right, anywho, I'm getting a lot of messages for that actually. But all right, let's see. Yeah, there's the lovers right there. It's a Gemini. Literally, I feel like you're looking back. There you go, Scorpio. So you're either looking back at a Gemini or the mind. If you don't know a Gemini, it's the way your mind operates, the way you think. It looks like they play mind games or something. I'm also getting to there is somebody is holding back from listening to like a nice, they're like, I don't want to hear it that way. Words. Gemini does rule words. They're ruled by Mercury as well. That's interesting. What mindset is created here? Literally, it blocks the mind. Yeah, there's a mindset about spirituality. There's skill and pride again. It could have something to deal with a Libra. I feel like there is a spiritual belief system about balance, karma, maybe Libras. But you can be okay with listening to an Aquarius. That is okay for you to do. If somebody had an open mindset, how would they view the situation or view spirituality? Yeah, passion, perspective, resilience, finesse, and guidance. There's also something about shortcuts and taking the long way. So there has something to do with that. But what else are you doing in the death card, Scorpio? Okay, intuition. What would your intuition be telling you to do here? Yeah, dominance. I think, oh, Sag had the same thing. Yeah, they had dominance too. Weird reading. Thank you for the puffs. All right, what are you dominating? What do you know to control here? All right, you've got rebellion, mood, vision again. So you are going to be able to see this. It's something about self-esteem versus confidence. What else is the Lover's card doing? Okay. I figured that. I'm going to leave that there, though. But you're going to see it. You're going to see what it is. You're witnessing it. Has something to do with a Gemini. All right. Capricorn is last but not least. Y'all know the last signs. All right. You done got... You're here when I done been talking for about 2, 4, 5 hours. So, you know the last signs. I do have to do a personal reading as well today. And I'm going to do some members only stuff for you guys. Make sure y'all put in for your personal reading so I can do it today. Please leave an email. All right, because I already have an inkling on how this will go with a phone number left. Please leave an email. We will not be text buddies after the reading. That disclaimer is for the men. Okay, Capricorn, last but not least. What is the center of the reading for the Capricorns? All right, fluidity, ebbs and flows, ups and downs. What role do you play here, Capricorns? What role do you play? Okay, confidence, you're doing well. Something's built up for yourself. You're independent. Yeah, this is Capricorn. Yeah, we did Scorpio a few minutes ago. All right, so what other energy should you be in, Capricorns? What energy should you be in? You should be in sexuality as well. You should listen, be open to listening, or you should learn from someone. All right, who should you listen to here in this case? All right, this is also a good mentality to be in. So love, somebody saying something nice, kind, generous. What are they telling you? Or are they saying, you know, I love your work, I love what you do. What else are they telling you here, Capricorns? So somebody's saying something in a nice way. All right, potential. Looks like they're like, okay, we can organize this. You'll be able to redistribute, redo this, blah, blah, blah. They're telling you that you have potential. All right. So it looks like somebody is giving you good advice. They're like, hey, this would be a good thing to work on, build up. You should do blah, blah, blah. All right, what are you doing in confidence really quick? Let's see. Okay, so this is, okay, so something is new here. What else is new? Okay, so this is, I feel like too, this is the first time that you're looking back at other decisions that you've made. What else are you looking back at here? You may feel, okay, self-love. So I feel like you're glad that you made that decision for yourself. Okay, I'm glad that you made that decision. All right, what did you do out of self-love here? I feel like you're confident in the fact that you did do something for yourself. All right, strength and peace. It could be something dealing with a Leo here. Okay. All right, but you kept something up. So what should you do in sexuality here that would be like listening, thinking, being logical, make sure your mind is grounded. What would you be doing in sexuality here, Capricorns? Okay, the Daughter of Coins. There are people in this card, all right? So this could be an energy where you are, you know, partnered up with somebody. All right, take your time as well with the Daughter of Coins. That means you're going to take your time to really think about something. All right, get all the information. What are you going to be, what are they going to tell you? This looks like a family member for some of you. Okay. The Chariot, the Justice, and the World. That's so weird. And then the death card. All right, so they're going to tell you, yeah, change. They're like, okay, out of love, you know, Capricorn, this is going to change into this. Somebody's like, yeah, you've built it up to this scenario. So the next step would be to transform something. They could be bringing up something about a Scorpio. All right, so what would be the old cycle here? And then what are we able to transform it into? What are you able to transform that into? Oh, okay, intuition. All right, so first of all, something also I'm getting to something was going up, now it's going down. Literally, that is the center of your reading is fluidity. So if you're wondering something was going up, now it has to go down to balance it out. All right, so that's one thing. I'm also getting two. There was something that there was like a good opportunity. Now you're like, okay, bet. I know exactly when to use these opportunities. I know exactly when to do this, that, and the third. So something's no longer going up. I feel like too, somebody's going to let you know like, hey, this was making money before, but now it's about to start losing money, or something hits like a bubble. You're going to hear about that or talk about that or discuss that. All right, that'll be the plan there. All right, Capricorns. Y'all know the last sign y'all get a little, a little whack reading, but be first and you'll get a better you'll get a better reading. No, I'm just playing. Thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. Yeah, if you join as a member, you get the love and the career readings, and you get a monthly question on YouTube. That is the YouTube memberships. Y'all know where to get the readings from. They're in the store. That's the only way y'all can get the reading. Thank y'all for the support. I appreciate y'all.